mirror, please.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our Fochi. This is we are at the Wei Mountain Temple, and this is our first Dharma talk for the evening for the Fochi. I'm glad you're all here. I'm very grateful for this opportunity because this is part of our Mahayana, American Mahayana Great Assembly cultivation. Great Assembly means that we get together with a lot of people and cultivate together. All right? And over the years, we've been doing this consistently for the last 19 years or so. And it's every year I learn something new. So that's why I'm very grateful for your coming. Yeah, I learn a lot from teaching you, from helping you to cultivate. So what is that we've been doing all these years? Number one is we study the teachings of the great Pure Land masters. So far, we've been able to only have time to study Master YongHua because he's the next, well, the last known Pure Land patriarch, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, and because his Pure Land teaching is very, very profound. As I kept on saying, his teaching was somehow buried into a lot of other teachings. That's why it's very hard for his disciples, my generation, disciples, to be able to decipher what he really meant. So this is very important for us in order to, the goal for our cultivation is plant the conditions for us to go to the Pure Land as soon as possible, preferably at the end of this life. And not only just go to the Pure Land, but also go to the Pure Land at a higher grade possible. All right, and so part of the learning of the teachings, instead of you listening to my nonsense, because I'm not enlightened, I don't have any real wisdom at all. I really don't know that much. It's better. I felt it's better that we all learn from the wise patriarchs. So this is one patriarch I like to learn from. I haven't, this is like you, probably my first time as well. And after this, we go into other patriarchs, such as if we run out of materials from Master YongHua, we go into the patriarch like O-Yi or Man-Yi, or Master Ying-Guang, which is a great strength Bodhisattva. And so we have plenty of materials for the rest of my career here as a teacher, and also for your future generations as well. Okay, and you can do a translation from Chinese texts, and we can learn from it and discuss it. All right, so that's very important because part of this Pure Land teaching, Pure Land practice is for you to open your wisdom and help you, prepare you to be taught by Amitabha Buddha. Okay, because if we're able to help you go to the Pure Land, I don't want Amitabha Buddha to complain that my students are so ignorant. It's a matter of reputation. Okay, and so that's why we learn the proper principles and the advanced Pure Land teachings. Trust me, the Pure Land Dharma is very, very advanced from what I've seen so far. I feel that if you do it right, you can reach higher levels than even the Chan Dharma door that Master YongHua left behind as well. All right, and so the instruction is very important. Okay, so that's why we study every single evening for the next 7 days. And also, there's also the technical side of it, where we arrange for our Sanghas to conduct the ceremonies for you and guide you in that process. I just like to spend a few minutes giving you some more instruction from my own I just thought of. That is just a reminder, this is an environment that is designed to help you drop everything and focus on your recitation for as long as you can. Okay, whether it's 1 day, whether it's half a day, whether it's 1 week, try your best and drop everything else. There's you not competing with anyone else here. We have nothing to prove, all right? And therefore, the environment is to help you drop everything. We're not after your money, we're not after your adoration, we're not after fame, we're not after profit. We all are here to plant the seeds to go to the Pure Land. To me, that's my end goal, the end goal of my life, if I could make it. That is, if I feel that the end of my life, after all this, all is said and done, if I were able to go to the Pure Land, it's a crowning achievement. Because once I go there, I will stick with Amitabha Buddha until I become a Buddha, period. No more uncertainty. That's it. To me, I feel it's the best thing possible. It could happen to anyone. Because in the spirit of American Mahayana, we are looking for a good known advisor. And I know one great one you can find right there, for sure, is Amitabha Buddha. Okay, so that's why I'm trying my best to go there too myself, and strongly urge you to go to the Western Bliss Pure Land at the end of this life. Right? And so the recitation here is, of course, when you recite the Buddha's name, the objective is to help you enter this Buddha recitation samadhi. Okay? It's not that hard, but it requires a proper environment and a proper mindset. Okay? And therefore, we created this environment so that you can drop everything and single-mindedly focus on reciting the Buddha's name. That's all you do. And you try to do as long as you can. And if, of course, you're not used to this, you maybe get tired or get bored or whatever, by all means, try your best. If you need to take a break, take a break. It's perfectly okay. The way that is traditionally done, explained to you, is that you should recite the Buddha's name till you're dead. No, there's no need to do that. You can recite, do your best you can, push yourself a little bit more if you can, and then you need to take a break. And let me teach you, it's very important for you to understand this. In order for you to enter this Buddha recitation samadhi, you need to have a lot of blessings. Pure Land blessings. Okay? And so that's why I advise you, I urge you, to, if you need to take a break, when you're tired or you don't feel like it, try to stay within the temple while you're here. Don't go out, because you have all kinds of protection here. When you go out, you will encounter your own karmic obstructions that we cannot protect you. Okay? While you're here inside the compound, inside the property here, you will be receiving full protection. Okay? They can come, they're allowed to come and challenge you, but they cannot harm you. They will come and distract you, but that's part of your training. Okay? But so best that you try not to leave unless you must. Okay, you need to go out, get something, medicine or whatever. Our people are prepared to help do that for you so that you can stay inside. All right? And number two, if you need to take a break, by all means, take a break. And if you don't feel like reciting anymore because the inner voice inside of you says, this is boring, this is nonsense, I don't believe this, I'm only here waiting for my friend here, my relative here, so that we can go and cavort and have fun, okay? It's okay. If you really don't feel like reciting, like you're Catholic or something, okay? We understand. We don't always have enough blessings to recite the Buddha's name, folks. It's this is what people don't explain to you. To recite the Buddha's name requires a lot of blessings. So what you do if you cannot recite, create more blessings. How do you do that? The best way is help others during this 佛期 to recite the Buddha's name. Let me spell it out for you. Stand up, go and sweep the floor, help do the dishes, okay, help out in the temple, because you're helping others cultivate, and therefore whatever help you provide in others, for others to cultivate, their achievements, whatever they can accomplish, even when they enter the Buddha recitation samadhi, you get a share of it. Okay, so that's why this is time for you to take advantage of it, and not waste your time. All right, and of course, if you have any questions, any concerns, we're here for you to guide you and to help you. Is it clear? Any questions? All right. If not, then we continue with studying Master YongHua's Po Chi instructions. I haven't seen these, so this is my first time as well. Okay.
回来你们也忙，我也忙。你们打破期，我就打赤期。
After coming back, you are busy. I am also busy. While you are doing 佛期, I am doing eating 期.
那么昨天呢，包的饺子包的不错，吃的太多了。
Yesterday, the dumplings were pretty good, and I ate too much.
这一餐吃的把肚子吃的太饱的太厉害了，吃完了就不能动弹，不能动弹就要躺着。
That meal made me overstuffed my stomach. It was too much. I couldn't move after the meal. I couldn't move and had to lie down.
躺着，这肚皮也不舒服。 过了2-3个钟头，这才可以活动了。所以觉得上了一个大当。
Even when I had lied down, my stomach was still uncomfortable. It took me 2-3 hours before I could move again. I feel that I have been tricked big time.
那么今天呢，我就要很小心了，菜也不吃那么多，饭也不吃那么多，那么没有那么难受。
Today, I was careful about what I ate. I didn't eat as many vegetables or as much rice. Thus, I wasn't that uncomfortable.
因为这年纪老了，他这个胃也孤寒起来，就不愿意吃太多东西。所以，那么昨天有这么个麻烦，今天呢，就注意一点。
Because I am getting old, my stomach complains that it doesn't want to eat too much. Since I was in so much trouble yesterday, I was more cautious today.
那么有的人呢，还给我加葱加的太多了，我是很不高兴。这一不高兴怎么样呢？
Some people kept serving me more food, and it was too much. I was very upset. What happened when I was upset?
我告诉你们，你们给我这么好吃的东西吗？我再明年不回来了，决定不回来了。
Let me tell you, If you serve me such good food, I am certainly not coming back next year.
回来吃的太好了，这个就发生问题了。
If I come back and eat too well, I will have problems.
并且我这个人呢，福报也不太多。我一吃的好东西啊，决定就会有毛病。
Moreover, I don't have much blessings, and as soon as I eat good food, I am bound to become sick.
那么一天就吃那个金山寺，在金山寺吃那个白水煮白菜呀，从拉萨罗里捡回来那个菜。
At Gold Mountain Monastery, we eat boiled Napa cabbage every day. We pick vegetables out of the garbage bins and bring them back.
煮了吃啊，它反而没有毛病，因为不会吃。
We boiled them to eat and didn't get sick on the contrary.
吃的太多啊，那么这个苦恼的人呢，就要吃点苦恼的东西。
That's because we don't eat too much. A vexed person would eat vexed food.
因为明年我不回来的原因，就因为你们给我吃的东西太好。
This is why I am not coming back next year. It is because you serve me such good food.
Okay,
我要
stop. Okay, let's discuss this section. He's talking about eating. Yeah. So he says that they were serving dumplings at Gold Mountain Monastery. So at the time, for your background, I think they bought a new building, an old mattress factory. They remodeled the interior, and then they organized the cheese there. And we're doing this in the same spirit. That is, they provided everything for people to come and practice, totally free. Okay, and but he said that they were serving dumplings, so they were actually doing well. Okay, Chinese love dumplings. Okay, it's a very Chinese thing, and because the food is good, he ate a lot. And when he ate a lot, he was stuffed, overstuffed. As it no overstuffed here is no ed. It's a verb, and he couldn't really cultivate. He had to go sleep. Okay, and he felt even when he lied down, he was not comfortable. So he felt that he has been misled into eating too much. Okay, so he is, of course, you understand, he's just using humor to make a point. He would never do that. Okay, he's not attached to flavors. Master YongHua is Mahasattva. You cannot tempt him with food. And I saw him in person. I know it's like decades later, but I know that this monk here is very skinny. Okay, so he doesn't eat that much as a practice because he didn't need a lot of nutrition and he barely have enough. Is there a reason for that? I don't advise you to do that. I don't advise my students to do that yet because it has some drawbacks. It has some real big advantages, okay, but also has some drawbacks, and that's not what we're shooting for right now. But in the future, You could try that. You could try eating a lot less like he does. He's basically skin and bones. Okay? Okay, I won't go into why, okay, because that's his secret and his disciples' secret. But I don't subscribe to that, okay, not yet. Too soon for you. And so he, when he ate too much, he was not comfortable. Of course, it's not true. He's just making up a story here, and he says, and he's using himself as an example of enjoying the food and overeating, and therefore, and you learn from overeating. So that's part of the experience, by the way, of the 4-Qi. Your full experience is not just eating, but also your neighbors, also your roommate snores too much, and so forth. You have all sorts of challenges as part of this 4-Qi, as this 4-Qi unfolds, okay? And you learn to adapt. That's why it's called Great Assembly. You never know what's going to happen, what kind of challenges you will have to face. It comes from different directions. And he says, now he's blaming people. He says, you served me too much food, and therefore he's upset at people serving him food. It's nonsense. You know it's not true. And he said, because you serve me too much, serving me too much food, I will not come back next year. All he has to do is eat less. But no, he's blaming people, okay? That's his sense of Chinese humor, right? And if because I eat too much, I come back, eat too much, I can't cultivate, okay? And he eat too much, I'm bound to get sick. Okay, this is the Chinese spirit. This is how I learned it as well. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have the blessings to be able to practice when he was alive with them. So I'm just like you, learning this secondhand from listening to these tapes, these lectures. I couldn't ask him questions directly, okay? But of course, this is not him, okay? But he's using himself as to illustrate a point that in the Great Assembly Dharma, when you're not happy and when you're afflicted, you blame others. Okay? That's us. And so it's reverse, it's like reverse psychology. Don't do that. Okay? You're going to be afflicted. Don't blame others. Blame yourself for being afflicted. That's some lesson here. Okay? We're going to be afflicted regardless of what you do. It's a perfect condition, you find it's too perfect, and you're afflicted as well. Okay? So the time you're here, you will be afflicted for many reasons. Could be your wife calling you and complain and not leave you alone. Could be your neighbor, could be a Sunim who chants too loud or hit the handbell too soft. A lot of our people are from Korea. They are very timid. They don't do things to stand out. Okay, so it drives me crazy to hear when they hit the handbell. They could hear themselves, but I can't hear when I stand there in the middle of the room. Okay, so anyway, I'm very afflicted. Every time I come to the temple and I do ceremonies with the Korean Sunims, I get afflicted. Okay, and I blame them, of course. Okay, so that's what the Great Assembly Dharma does. When you're afflicted and your natural reaction is blame someone, that's what it's meant to do. Stop it. Don't blame others. Okay? The affliction is your problem and no one else's problem. If you can choose to be afflicted or you can choose not to be afflicted, no matter what. All he has to do is when they serve food, he can say, I'm not going to eat anymore, I'm full. Okay? Instead, he pretends to blame others for serving him too much food, as if he claims that others know how much he can eat. Okay? And the amount of food we can eat varies from day to day. Sometimes breakfast is good food. You eat a little bit more than normal. So at lunch, you probably don't feel you're not as hungry, so eat less. So how can anyone else know that how much food you need? Okay? And so, you see, it's so typical of people. When they're not happy, they always point a finger to someone else. This is his very subtle teaching. Stop it. All right? And another point I want to point out to you, and he's going to go on and on about this. He whines. He's so unbecoming of a great master to whine like this. He says, we eat cabbage because that's cheap. Okay, in the U.S. we have a lot of cheap Napa cabbage. In California, it's very cheap, and there's a point in time where they ran out of money, so they actually climb into garbage bins at those supermarkets to get these throwaway cabbage and come back, cleaned it and cooked it, and they have no problem with eating it. Okay, so that's what they did for a while. But by this time here, when he talked about it, it no longer is the case. Okay. When they heard about it, then they sent trucks and trucks of food to the temple, and they never went hungry again, ever. Okay, and so, this is what happened to them, and this is what I love, the fact that they were starving to death, and they were they never opened their mouth and asked for help or complain. And I'm not talking about Master YongHua, I'm talking about his disciples. Back then, they understood the value system. They have pride. Okay? And it's remarkable, that generation. They climb into garbage bins, and I was told that they had no money. And so on the weekends, when people came to the temple, they would yield the food to their guests, and they would go hungry. I was so impressed that these people had very little samadhi power, and yet this heart is so big. And that's why these people can go very, very far in Mahayana. Okay? So that generation, I don't know what happened to those people. Most of them returned to lay life. Okay, the few of them who are stuck around sure reach pretty good levels themselves. Okay, so that tells you. Okay, the harder it is, and if you maintain your integrity, okay, you can go very far. All right, you open your wisdom. The difficulties and the hardships are designed to help your wisdom unfold quicker. The comfort and the excesses have a way of numbing your senses and lull you into complacency. You don't need to change because you're comfortable. When you're not comfortable, that's when your best comes out. In America here, there's an expression I love. When I was in corporate America, we will rise to the occasion. I know many of you, your mind is so strong. I looked, I said, wow, so young, I said, yet the mind is so strong already. And all you need is the opportunity to rise to the occasion. Okay? And so this environment here, trust me, you'll be challenged. Because there'll be a lot of people who are stronger than you who become afflicted, and the affliction will affect you. Okay? Negatively. And this is when you struggle. And you don't give in, you don't give up, you don't complain, you don't accuse others. You keep going the best way you can. You can't anymore, get up and go work, do something. Okay, and come back. Okay, so these people are his prior generation. There's something else. All right? And he also very interesting point here, slide 56. The point here, he says, one point here is that when you cook food, and if you're afflicted, your afflictions goes into the food. Catholics don't know that. Only Buddhists know that. This is so true. That's why, do you know that I couldn't understand it back then? I went around to different temples, especially Chinese temples and Vietnam temples and, Taiwanese temples and so forth. And the abbot, the Fangzang, always has his own cook. And now I figure out why. It's because most of the cooks in the kitchen are very afflicted. So the food they serve give the Fangzang, have a way of giving the Fangzang stomach aches. So that's why the Fangzang say, I know this boy here, this novice here or this monk here, I know he's afflicted, so I'm prepared for his affliction. But when he eats food from afflicted people, different kind of afflictions, he's not prepared for those types of poisons. What's the plus side? Okay? The plus side is that when you're in a proper frame of mind, okay, then the food you serve tastes much better and more nutritious for us, for others. Give you an example. I went to very early on. I was here in Long Beach Monastery helping watch over a bunch of young novices. The whole program, we had about 16, 18 young kids, and they all returned to lay life, okay, all losers. And you can't blame them. Yeah, they are not trained properly. So I learned what they did wrong. I watched them, I learned. And they were really spoiled. And we went to Sacramento once and visited this group of people who were practicing meditation at this person's house because the temple there, the city of Dharma realm, a branch of Master Shenhua's association, would not teach them meditation. They're not happy with meditation, so they got together and practiced together, meditated together. So they invited us. Somehow, I don't know how they connected with the head of the program. So we invited over to them, and this person here gave us some water, warm water, in a wine glass, okay, and at the time I was very low level. At the time I was about second dhyana. I practiced for 2-3 years. Unlike you people who've been here for 2-3 years, you are in a very high ranges already. At the time, after 2 years, I was second dhyana, struggling every day, afflicted every day. But I took a sip of that water there. It was so sweet because the person was so grateful that we came around and visited them and encouraged them to continue to practice meditation. So your mindset affects the flavor and the quality of the food. Trust me. Especially if you cultivate, it makes a huge difference. So that's why kitchen managers, it's not about only the great ingredients, good ingredients, but also about your mindsets as well. If you're a kitchen manager, if you're someone who helps out in the kitchen, please don't get afflicted. You're poisoning us. All right? So see, so even you helping out in the kitchen is actually cultivation. All right? Don't do it like the Vietnamese and the Chinese and so forth. They only recite Buddha's name, only meditate. No. It's a full thing, is try your best. Okay? And if you can't technically recite the Buddha's name, go and create blessings so that you have blessings to recite it right, to recite it properly. All right? So this is what's erroneous about the way that people practice reciting the Buddha's name and meditation nowadays. You think, I'm here, train me. No, you're here, you work first. You get it? That's your training. You're here. You're here because you made it here because you have enough blessings to overcome the obstructions. So not until you come here that we can help you. Outside of the temple, it's someone else's territory. We respect that. Okay? Once you enter this area here, that's only because you have enough protection from your own afflictions or your own karmic obstructions. Okay? Once you're here, that's when we can give you protection and guidance. All right? And so it's very difficult to get here, and people say, then I must meditate, I must recite Buddha's name only, I don't want to waste my time. No, that's so wrong. You try your best, and you also should also consider planting more blessings as well by helping others cultivate. That's the 4 Qi as well. All right? Is that clear? And eat too much, he keeps on complaining, food here, he's not coming back. I'm not coming back. It's not him. Okay. All right. Any questions about this? All right. Now, let me explain to you about eating. I'm a different persuasion of Master YongHua. I feel that this is fundamentally sound. If you didn't have anyone to guide you, like in my generation, after Master YongHua was gone, no one really guided me. So this is what the principles. I tended to eat less and sleep less and so forth. Brute force. I'm teaching you now. If you have someone to guide you, it's a lot more flexibility because the person who guides you must be flexible enough to help adjust the instructions for you. Okay, each one will be different. Okay, yes, JC.
이번 불칠 때 가능한 시간이 되면 절에 오려고 하는데요. 주로 밤이나 새벽이 될 것 같은데 요즘에 제가 운전을 하면 너무 졸려가지고 그게 좀 걱정이거든요. 그래서 어떻게 해야 될지 질문드립니다.
Master, during the 4 Qi, I'll try my best to visit the temple. Most likely the time that I will visit the temple will be early in the morning. So I have to drive, but these days I have a problem. I become really drowsy. So I'm kind of concerned about driving to the temple early in the morning. Is there any advice for me? Thank you.
Don't drive when you're drowsy. Okay, you gotta be careful. Don't overdo it. Okay, You need to accord with condition. Your safety comes first. You cannot take chances like that. If you're driving and you're drowsy and get in an accident, and you not only are you harming yourself, but you're also harming your husband and your family members who said, what kind of extreme tempo is that? All right? So you need to take better care of yourself. Don't overdo it. Okay. Let me talk about food. I'm the last one to whine about good food. By all means, bring good food. By all means, eat and gorge yourself up. We're not Chinese, okay? We are American. Okay. It's because it's a different kind of spirit. These people, traditionally, the way they practice that they let go of these things so that they reduce desires. Okay? I'm not teaching you that. I'm teaching you about kindness and compassion. If people who are supportive of us, including those you here or those outside who cannot make it here, and they say, I want to support these people cultivate, so they send good food to show appreciation to us, okay? Could be some water or whatever, okay, it doesn't matter. But you can't say, to me it's wrong for you to say, they give you all this, they drove for an hour to get you a pumpkin pie. This is the time of the year for it here in the U.S. We eat pumpkin pies. And I'm not making any hint. I'm not dropping any hints. Okay, guys? Okay. I'm just giving you an example. Okay. I know people have done that. Every time I go to Go Force, people would go out of their way and buy me things, all sorts of goodies to eat. And I was so stuffed. And this is why I gained so much weight when I go to Go Force. And this, again, is not a complaint. Okay. I appreciate it. Okay. But to me, when people open their heart and show support and appreciation for us, to me, there's nothing wrong with overeating. Because that's how you show appreciation. Okay? And if I eat too much, I work out a little bit more. Okay? We compensate, we make up for it. Don't blame others and say, why do you keep on giving you good food? I'm not coming back. That's too Chinese. It's so petty to me. Okay? I know he's faking it. It's not him. That's why I'm teaching you. The lesson that he's stressing is different from what I'm stressing for you. People are very kind-hearted here at our temple, let me tell you. Okay? And they want you to eat well and eat good stuff. Enjoy yourself. Nothing wrong with it. It's there, enjoy yourself. If it's nothing left by the time you get there because you're too slow, so be it. Don't complain. Okay? But if it's still there, enjoy yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. And that's how you practice kindness, compassion. Kindness from people, from giving us good things, wanting us to have good things. That's being kindness. And how do we show our kindness? Is by receiving it and enjoying it. Okay? When I'm not here, by all means, do it like this traditional here. You say, let me cut back on desire and cut back on consumption. It's okay. That's one style. But as long as I'm alive, it's okay to gorge yourself. It's okay to overeat. Okay? It's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself. Why is that? To me, life is so stressful to you already. And you gave up so much to come here. And there's no need for me to stress you out anymore. Okay? It's not about punishing your body. It's about molding your mind so that we help you open your wisdom. That's my objective. Not punish you and make you feel like you're a superior cultivator. No. We connect with people. This is a practice of kindness and compassion I feel that the Chinese don't have, the Vietnamese don't have, the Taiwanese don't have. They all stick to this thing here. I will eat less. I will eat less and less and less because I'm a superior cultivator. No, try your best. Enjoy yourself. All right? You have a craving for coffee. I will not name names. You're going to ask someone, I have a craving for coffee. Can I somehow get some coffee? We get it for you. All right? You can go get it yourself too, if you wish as well. Okay? Enjoy yourself. Okay? This is the spirit I want you to have. We don't want people to look at us, Mahayana practitioners, as extreme people who are so superior. We can eat with the minimal amount of food and we are not attached to anything. That's not real. Be yourself. Because you never know. While you're practicing, you may receive a call from your own son or your daughter and say, "Hi, Mom, how you doing?" "Fine." You're in such a state of concentration. "I'm fine. How are you?" Okay. What kind of impression are you giving to the people you most care about? Huh? You're destroying their faith in Buddhism. I'm worried about that more than you entering Samadhi, more than you not being able to go to the Pure Land. I'm more worried about you, okay? Alienating the people that's most important to you. So enjoy yourself. Be real as a person. Okay? Forget this. Yes, JMT. You see, we listen to people, we learn from the great sages, but we adapt it to our environment and to what we're trying to develop here for you. Okay? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying this works very well, but I feel it's better my style. Try it for a while. Yes.
마스터.
I thought you were coming.
네.
네? Okay.
마스터 음식 먹는 거에 대해서 저는 질문이 있고요. 절에서 음식을 먹었는데 배가 아픈데 어떻게 아팠냐면 주먹으로 마치 배를 맞은 것처럼 아픈 증상이 나타나는 음식이 있었어요. 일단 한번 끊을게요.
Master, I have a question about eating. So I ate at the temple and my stomach was hurting. The hurt was almost like somebody punched my stomach. And she will continue.
근데 이제 그냥 제가 생각할 때는 그냥 주어진 음식이고 저는 음식도 아예 못하고 그래서 좀 참고 먹긴 했는데 몸무게가 좀 많이 빠진 거예요. 그래서 그러니까 이제 참고 먹다 보니까 먹으면 배가 아프니까 양이 줄어들게 되고 몸무게가 좀 빠졌거든요. 그래서 제가 미국에 있을 때 103파운드까지 빠진 거예요. 한번 끊을게요. 네네네.
So this incident happened in the U.S. when she visited U.S. So I understand I can't cook, but somebody else cooked for me. So I endure and I ate the food. But because my stomach was hurting, so I start to lose weight because I was eating less. So I went down to 103 pounds at the time.
그래서 제가 이제 질문을 이렇게 펀치로 배를 맞은 것처럼 아픈 음식에 대해서 어떻게 마음을 가지고 어떻게 해야 되는지가 제 질문이거든요. 네.
So this kind of pain, like as if somebody punched my stomach, in this situation, what kind of mindset should I keep? And then what should I need to do? Thank you.
You should eat less. Don't eat so much. Okay? I don't know if that's a problem. You should have brought it to our attention. We could help you. Could teach you things to compensate, like reciting mantras and so forth. And whatever you need in terms of if you have a problem with the food you eat, let us know. And we will try to accommodate you. Okay? And let me also stress you this. To me, it's very important that because American Mahayana is new, so believe me, what you do here creates a very important impression on others. If you bring your family members here, your children here, I have no problems if we can do everything possible to make your children more comfortable. Like we went to, in Korea, a lot of our visitors came from different countries. They would bring some of their family members, and we bent over backwards to help them take the children to the beach and to go play and so forth. That's part of cultivation too, by the way, because you do that, you're creating a very positive and favorable impression on your own family members, and they are the future of Mahayana. We're not trying to convert them, okay? Even if in the future, Lord forbids, if they turn Christian, okay? They still have this very positive image of how kind and how compassionate the Buddhists are. Okay, that's very important for me. Okay, this is important. I want you to, if you have a chance, be nice to your family, and if they're here, they choose to spend time with you. Practice kindness and compassion. Okay, for you to enter this Buddha recitation samadhi, it only takes 1 second. You don't need all day. You know that? 1 second, that's all you need, and you're done. You can go to the Pure Land. That's why we can goof off. We don't care. We goof off, have a good time, bond with our family, bond with our friends, bond with people that we are important to us, bond with people we like, form new friendships and so forth. That's kindness and compassion. Because ultimately, okay, it only takes you 1 second to enter samadhi. That's all, 1 second. And you're safe. Don't be like the Chinese, they're so worried. Am I going to enter samadhi? You will. You don't? We will help you go to the Pure Land. No worries. Okay? Have to have the big picture. Don't be so obsessed. I want to go Pure Land at any cost. Oh my God. That's so negative mindset of cultivation. Yes, Mexico.
Emitofuo Master, speaking about food, I would like to ask you, because I want to, in this Fochi, try 1 meal per day. So I don't know much about this Dharma door, and I would like to, if you can comment about it, a little bit about.
In the temple, it's not that difficult to do 1 meal a day. When you're outside, I don't recommend it. Okay, actually, in our temples, because I'm worried about, again, image, I'm very vain. Okay, I admit to you. I don't want people to walk around emaciated as if I'm starving them to death. When I first started at Lu Mountain Temple, our people ate 1 meal a day. And the family members came and they all like this. And they thought that we were so poor, they started giving me more money and more food and expensive, vitamins and all sorts of green things, disgusting things that I had to eat every day. and so I switched to breakfast, which is allowed. Okay, so you can have breakfast and lunch, but don't eat dinner. That's still considered part of the practice. So if I were you, I'd eat breakfast. You're allowed to eat breakfast anyway after you shave your head. And so I will eat breakfast. I personally don't like breakfast because I have no appetite in the morning unless you have to add a little bit of liquor. Then it tastes better. But it doesn't look right when I drink liquor in the morning. So I don't have breakfast because I just don't feel like eating. But if it helps you, it speaks out people to work very hard. If it's so busy, you wouldn't believe it. So that's why I don't want them to go hungry. And so it's okay to eat breakfast, okay? But actually, once you get going, like during the qi here, if you only stay here and don't go outside, you can easily get by with one meal, okay? But normally it's okay to eat breakfast, okay? How do you eat one meal? You eat 3 meals in one. This is our secret. See, even Aaron likes it. You see, it sounds so cool that you only eat one meal. Actually, these people, they eat like pigs. I remember when I first started a city, 10,000 Buddhas. Everyone had this big bowl, okay, bigger than ours right now. And next to it, they also have a big plate, and they heap it up like that, okay? And then later, they figured out they would pass around these big tubs of food, and they would park it there in front of them, and they keep on going like this, okay? So, no, normally you eat a lot because you have a lot of afflictions. As your Kung Fu increases, you have fewer affliction, you will eat less naturally. Don't worry about Master Hsien Huang. That's why I don't believe anything he says. He has no affliction. So how can he possibly eat too much? That's not possible with him. Okay? I hear things, but I don't believe everything. Okay? Because I know him. Well, and so you first start with eating a lot, making sure you eat so that you tend to go hungry. When I was at Master Hsien Huang's temples, it's not too bad at night. But in the morning around 9 o'clock, you begin to feel hungry. That's normal. Okay? So that's why people would like to have some breakfast to prevent themselves from getting hungry. It's okay to be a little bit hungry, or eating breakfast is okay too. Okay? That's how you gauge yourself, whether you eat enough or not. All right? Eat more, that's all there is to it. And you naturally will eat less, because as your Kung Fu increases, like him, he doesn't eat much at all. Okay? A lot of them show off. They only eat I saw some people eating their lunch is like 10 minutes. And to me, I don't like it. You're with people. People are offering you food. And you say, I'm above your food you offer me. How are they going to have blessings if you refuse their offering of food? So Hinayana thinking. You understand? As a monk, as we're supposed to help you create more blessings. And you give us food, and you say, no, I don't need your food. I'm above it, because I'm a real monk. I'd rather be a bad monk so that you have more blessings. I want to get fat so that you have more blessings. All right? Then you can enter Samadhi quicker. Anything else? All right, next section, please.
这个不是敬鬼神而远之吗？这个不是敬鬼神而远之。
I wanted to, as the saying goes, staying away from ghosts and spirits while respecting them. This is not staying away from ghosts and spirits while respecting them.
这是好饮食而远之，好吃好东西嘛，离它远一点，这个你们各位明白了吗？
This is stay away delicious food while liking them. Stay away from delicious food that you like. Do you understand?
你们不要以为我回来又给牛奶喝，又给这个喝，又给那个喝，我就欢喜回来了。
You shouldn't think that when I am back, serving me milk and other drinks would make me happy to be back.
你越吃的好东西越多了，我就不愿意回来了。
The more delicious food there is, the less I want to come back.
为什么你们给我这么好的东西吃，我就明年不回来了呢？
Why is it that when you serve me such good food to eat, it makes me not want to come back next year?
那么说明年不回来，后年回来不回来，这不知道，因为还没有到明年呢。
If I am not coming back next year, will I come back the year after next? I don't know, because it is not next year yet.
现在可以预定明年的事情，后年的事情又得明年呢才能预定后年的事情。
We can plan out next year's events now, but we have to wait till next year to plan events for the year after next.
这个本来我也愿意吃好的，但是吃的太多了就会死得快一点。吃好东西吃多了被福报强尽了就会早一点往生的。
Originally, I too enjoy eating good food, but the more I eat, the faster I will die. Eating too much good food uses up my blessings, and I will die sooner.
那么所以我一天吃一餐呢，就把这个应该吃的东西慢慢吃就可以活长命一点。
That's why I eat one meal a day. I slowly eat what I'm supposed to eat, so I can live a little longer.
我虽然是不一定有寿者相，但是这个来到这个世界，教化众生，也要有一个有这一口气，才能给大家讲。
Although I don't necessarily attach to the mark of lifespan, but coming to this world to teach and transform living beings, I need to breathe, talk to everybody.
所以我那么愿意吃好的之中呢，我就把这个身体维持才能不断这口气也就算了。所以这个好饮食而远之。
So I eat well just to support this body and this breath. That's enough. Stay away from good food while liking it.
那么好饮食而远之，要好的吃的东西要远一点。这个字可以读好，好就是欢喜，欢喜饮食而远之，又可以。
Stay away from good food. The character is pronounced as how. How means like like food, but stay away from them.
说是好的饮食啊，你应该远一点，不远一点呢，那个吃的，肚里头没有地方了，就不会动弹了。
The character can also be pronounced as how, and the dirt tone meaning good. Good food, you should stay away. If not, they will not fit in your stomach, and you won't be able to move again.
所以我这个做师傅的不是单单。
Okay, that's backtrack. Here's a question from JC. Go ahead, JC.
법문에 관한 건 아니고 저희 남편에 관한 질문 드려보려고 하는데요. 좀 개인적인 일이긴 한데 질문을 드려도 될지는 사실 모르겠습니다. 남편이 이번 내년에는 지금 맡고 있는 것보다 좀 더 큰 일을 맡게 됐는데 남편은 지금 회사의 감사의 팀장을 맡고 있는데 내년에는 감사 전체 팀을 총괄하는 일을 맡게 되었습니다. 그런데 남편이 문제는 내년부터 박사과정을 밟으려고 원서를 넣어놨고 거의 합격할 것 같아 보이는데요. 그래서 남편이 저한테 공부를 일과 병행을 할 수 있을까 조언을 구하더라고요. 그래서 저는 남편이 공부하고 배우는 거를 너무 좋아하는 사람이라서 이런 학위에 대한 꿈도 오랫동안 갖고 있어서 공부를 하면 굉장히 행복해할 것 같아서 했으면 했는데 그 큰일을 맡으면서 또 일에 영향을 미치고 오히려 스트레스가 될까 봐 저도 아직 결정을 못하고 있어서 마스터께 한번 여쭤봅니다.
Master, this is not a question about Dharma talk. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask, but this is more personal question about my husband.
Sure, you can ask about anything.
So about my husband, currently he's working at his company as a manager for a team, but next year they give to him bigger tasks. Now he's going to be leader of the team. And at the same time, he wants to study more. So he applied for the PhD program. Most likely he will be accepted. So my husband was asking me, he was concerned about managing the work, which is going to be a lot bigger task than now, and plus study for the PhD program. I understand that my husband loves to study, so it will make him happy. So at this point, he asked my opinion. I wasn't sure how I answered that, so I'm asking Master's advice about this situation. Thank you.
So what's the question again? What kind of advice she's supposed to give her husband?
Yes, Master. He has to manage both working and then studying for the PhD program next year. So it's gonna be a lot more task for him studying, and then also he has to manage bigger job next year. So she's wondering.
It's kind of strange that when you go for a PhD program, it's very demanding. It needs full attention. And people normally allow you to go to school full-time instead of working. Working and going to school is very, very difficult, especially when you have a family as well. So a PhD program here is a part-time program, yes? It's not full-time.
MBA 과정인데요. 2주일에 한 번씩 금요일, 토요일에 수업이 있는 걸로 알고 있어요.
Master, it's not a PhD, it's an MBA program. So he has a class on Saturday.
Okay, MBA program. So I understand these processes. So these companies want to invest him, allows him to take MBA courses to prepare him for management. okay? Promote him to management. It's a good thing, okay? And so what is that she's concerned about? How to manage the time?
MBA 석사는 가지고 있고 MBA 박사 과정이라서 마스터가 염려하셨던 것처럼 좀 더 많은 에너지가 요구가 되는 일이라 고민을 하고 있습니다. 근데 남편이 워낙에 회사에 들어갔지만 공부를 많이 하고 싶었던 것이 본인 꿈이었는데다가 또 회사 일도 중요하니까 쉽게 결정을 못 내리고 있는 것 같아요. 일은 무조건 이제 해야 하는 상황인데 박사 과정을 포기할지 고민을 하고 있습니다.
So he has a master's degree in MBA program, but he's most likely will be accepted on PhD program. But it's similar MBA, but not master's degree. The next level, which is PhD. So that means that he requires more energy and efforts for that. So he cannot quit his company, but she understands that studying is his dream. He loves to do it. But so should he give up that PhD program? Because he cannot quit his job.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know him, so I can't give a blind advice to someone who I have not met. I need to meet him and see his samadhi level and see how much he can take. Okay, it depends on each individual. In principle, it's a good thing for his career when he gets his MBA programs. If I had to err on the conservative side, I would go for a master's first. Okay, and there's nothing that stops him from going for a PhD later. There's no need to commit so much.
I'm sorry, Master. He already had master's degree in MBA, and now he's going for the PhD in MBA. That's what she said.
How does it help his career? Does he want to stay in management, or does he want to go into technical side? So PhD in what? In engineering or in business administration?
경영과 관련된 학위이고 남편이 하는 일과도 관련이 많이 되어 있고 박사 학위를 가지고 있는 게 실제 승진에도 도움이 되는 걸로는 알고 있습니다.
So the PhD program that he's pursuing is related to his work, and it will help him to move up in his company.
No. My question is very, very clear. Is it an engineering degree in PhD, or is it a PhD in management?
Management, MBA, business administration.
What field? Is it finance? What is it? The PhD in what? If he wants to go into finance, it's a good thing to get into a PhD, because MBA at the master's level are not that strong in finance. Okay? But other stuff, like marketing and stuff, you don't need a PhD. At least in the US.
경제는 대학교에서 전공을 했고 지금은 경제와 같은 특정 분야는 아니고 매니지먼트 전반적인 경영에 관련된 PhD로 알고 있습니다.
So he already received his bachelor degree in economy during his college, but I think that this PhD is something to do with the management.
There's no PhD in management, because the professors don't know how to manage. How can they possibly give you a PhD in management? Have you guys thought about it? If the professors know how to manage, why would they be professors? They'd be making a lot more money. Okay? So here's my advice to you. Stay out of it. You don't know what you're asking. I don't know him, so we can't really help. My advice to you as your wife is to be supportive of him. Don't try to give him advices because you don't know what you're even talking about. So don't give advices. If we don't know, just say you don't know. And as a spouse, you should be supportive of your spouse endeavors. If he wants to get a PhD, want to study, nothing wrong with it. And you should discuss with it. You say, if you want to study a PhD, then you need to give up something. It's only so much time you have per day. So you need to give up, if you want your PhD, you need to give up spending time with the kids, okay? Spending time with me, and so forth. So it's a give and take. You have to be clear about it. That's where you come in. But whatever he does, technically, you have no idea. That's why your questions are all confused. Translation, even more confused. And that's why we can't help. General advice, talk to him, and it's his field. Whatever he wants to do, be supportive, that's all. But you need to talk about it. If you want to study, he wants to study, he has to give up family time. It's never easy, a master's degree or a PhD degree. You have to give up time somewhere, okay? And therefore, you need to talk it out. If you do that, then you have to give up this. Are you willing to do that? Okay? And for how long? And what is the benefit? To me, my experience has been very tiny percentage of great company leaders have PhDs. And I don't think they are impressed with PhD in management, because we know it already. Professors are idiots when it comes to management. They're very good in finance because they understand math, they understand the technical side of it. So you get a PhD in finance, you know a lot more than a master's degree. But once once you get the master, MBA, there isn't a whole lot more you can learn from your professors. Okay, unless you go into math. All right? So for all of you there, out there, management, PhD, don't bother. It's a joke. They don't know how to manage. They don't have any wisdom to do the proper management. Okay? Anyway, that's my personal opinion. Okay? Be supportive and talk about it. You don't know what you're asking about, so we can't really help you. Okay? Get more information, and then you can talk to us privately, if you like, again. All right? Thank you for asking. Go back to slide 58. I don't know what this Chinese thing here, yes, JMT.
그래서 방금 마스터 제이 씨의 루스가 루스에게 좀 질문이 있고 추가적으로 마스터한테 좀 더 구체적인 인포메이션을 제공하는 게 좋을 것 같아서 마이크를 들었고요. 일단 한번 끊을게요.
Master, I have a question to Rushu, and also maybe I will be able to provide detailed information.
네네. 그러니까 예를 들면 MBA 과정을 가는데 그게 개인적으로 자기 야망에서 하는 거랑 회사 차원에서 시간과 그 학비를 지원받고 하는 거랑 차이가 많이 나고, 투자 같은 경우에는 회사에서 좀 더 그 사람을 키우려고 하고 어떻게 보면 그 사람을 잡기 위한 어떻게 보면 약간 노예 계약 같기도 한 거거든요. 네, 그래서 일단 한번 끊을게요.
So when we talk about MBA program, there's two different kinds. First, personal ambition, just personally they wanted to complete the MBA program, or there's a company who supports their employee, there's a big difference between two approaches. And I would say the second one is more like you becoming a slave for the company.
그래서 제가 궁금한 건 그 루스의 남편이 이게 회사 차원에서 지원을 받고 MBA를 하는 건지가 일단 궁금하고요. 일단 그거 마스터한테 말씀을
So
좀.
my first question to Rushu is, your husband's company is supporting this MBA PhD program?
It's okay. Let's take this private if you like, but it's not. You don't know what you're talking about. Both of you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about either, so it's not a good use of time. Okay? I don't know who your husband is, what he's like, how smart he is. And I don't even know what he's interested in studying, so there's no point in talking about it. Okay? And I just give you general information. If you want to get an MBA, you go into management, then unless you go into finance, no need to get a PhD. That's about it. Okay? You want to go into be a corporate executive and so forth, you don't need a PhD. All right? And we hire PhDs in order to crunch our numbers and defend our positions. But the executive barely, or if at all, never use their PhD training at those positions. It doesn't need PhD training to be an executive. You need to have wisdom. They need Chan more than they need PhDs, if you ask me. Yeah. They'll be a much better executive if they practice Chan, but I can't tell them that. Hey, YouTube.
네, 익강님 질문입니다. 특수상행식의 오온을 이해하고 싶은데 아무리 스님들 강의를 들어도 기억에 남지 않습니다. 스님께서는 오온이 파악되시는지요? 된다면 스님의 강서를 듣고 싶습니다.
Master, I'd like to understand about I think it's a 5 skanda. I'm not really sure this one. It's about form, filling.
5 skandhas.
Oh, thank you. 5 skandhas. I wanted to understand 5 skandhas. No matter what, how much I listen to other Sinim's lectures, I can't remember anything. Please, if you know about 5 skandhas, please, I'd like to listen to your lecture.
I talked about 5 skandhas a few times already in the past 20 years, 19 years. And I talked differently every time because the person that I addressed are different every time. Okay, so I don't know enough about this person. Do I know this person at all? Who is this person who asked this question about 5 skandhas? Do I know him? Okay, here's what happens. In general, the 5 skandhas are a Buddhist technology where 5 skandhas are the 5 components of your ego. So only in Buddhism, whatever these therapists, psychologists, all those people, all those crazy people, okay, they think they know about the ID or the id or the ego and so forth. They have no clues. We in Buddhists, according to the Buddha, we know how the ego functions. The ego functions through 5 different modes, okay, different dimensions. Yes, JC? Okay, never mind. You too slow. Go ahead, YongHua.
마스터 지금 그 설명 중이신 것 같아서 요 단락 매듭되면은 여쭤보겠습니다.
Master, I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm going to wait until you answer this, and I will ask question. Thank you.
Because by the time I'm done, there's no more time left. You want to wait till next time, or you want to answer now?
네, 다음에 여쭤보겠습니다. 시간을 인터피어하지는 않겠습니다.
So Korean.
Master, I don't want to interfere you. Just please answer. Thank you. I will ask
See,
another.
I told you. The Koreans say, no, you go first. Let them go first. We American, I want to go first. This is why it's so difficult for me to switch mode. Am I American or Korean? I'm confused after a while. Who are you? And then some of the Koreans here are becoming American. It even complicates things. And some Americans I met in Korea are so Korean. So I'm confused. Anyway, so the 5 skandhas are the 5 dimensions of your ego. Buddha knows if anyone has an ego, he tells us, he tips us out, he says, anyone who's egotistical, observe this person. You still have who's very, very selfish, who has ego. You see, that selfishness, that ego, manifests in 5 different dimensions. Okay? Dimensions of form, feeling, thinking, activity, and consciousness. And this is why the therapists and these crazy people the crazy specialists that Jumi is trying to get a PhD in that field, they will never figure out the ego. Okay? Unless you understand how the ego functions, you will never be able to transcend it. You will never be able to keep it in check. And so that's why your practices, in particular in Chan, or even in the Pure Land practice as well, we are teaching you to transcend your ego. Okay? And how do we do that? It's a trade secret for the Buddhists, and we don't explain it to you. And this is why it's very exciting for the young monks and the Sunims to hear about this and say, "Oh, we Buddhists have this trade secret that enables us to kill the ego, to rein in the ego." Okay. And it's documented. You find it in Nagarjuna and Lungshu Pusa, or various teachers, many Sunnis, many monks explain that in Vietnam, in China, and so forth. And let me give you a tip, okay? The more they explain about it, the more is the proof that they don't know what they're talking about. When the Buddha, and this is a new way of explaining the 5 skandhas, by the way, this is a new one. Because it's a challenge for me is I don't know who is the person who is asking. Okay, and then you have such different levels. So who do I address? Low levels, advanced levels. Okay, so I need to come up with something different. Okay, so here's what happens to the monks and nuns get excited because they know that by understanding these 5 components of the ego, our sutras demonstrate that we're able to transcend our egos and squash our egos. So they get very, very excited. Say, only us Buddhists know about it. Only problem is that it's not documented anywhere in the sutras on how to do it. In the Shrangama Sutra, he only explains that, the Buddha explained that you have the 5 skandhas, and therefore, in order to transcend the 5 skandhas, you have to undo them in certain order. That's as close as it gets to in terms of instructions on how to do it. Okay, and this is a problem with the monks and nuns. They then, instead of trying to figure out how to do it themselves, okay, before they talk about it, okay, because that's what Buddhism is about to me. Don't talk about it, because the Buddha, when he explains the Dharma, is in order to help us know what to do. He knows how to do it already, remember? He spent so much efforts, endured so much suffering to figure out how to transcend the ego, how to become enlightened. So he says, this is so wonderful, I'm going to teach you, all of you how to do it. That's the Buddha's purpose. It's never to prove that he knows what he's talking about. Never crossed his mind. He said, I know so much and you don't. No, he says, I know a lot more than you, but more importantly, I want you to know how to become enlightened. He stresses getting there. He never stressed knowledge. And this is very important for you, Sunims, and you monks and nuns to pay attention to. If you want to be a teacher, how about becoming enlightened first? Because in Buddhism, we want to lead you there. We want to bring you to the land of the promised land, the pure land, the nirvana, because we know the way. It's never about trying to impress you with how much we know. That's scholars. It's not our jobs. The scholars will give you degrees and accolades and certificates to show, demonstrate your knowledge. We don't need those things. We only need to lead you there and help you get there. Okay? So that's why the objective of the great teachers like Master YongHua, you notice, he didn't never talk that much about the 5 skandhas. He explained a little bit, very shallow actually. His explanation of the 5 skandhas are very scanty, and that's why it forced me to look for and read up on so much junk out there about the 5 skandhas. And most of the teachers who talked about the 5 skandhas in extensive detail like I do right now, we just spent too much time talking about the 5 skandhas like I'm doing tonight, you should be careful. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? And so if at the end of this, you think that if I claim I know about the 5 skandhas, don't believe me. Am I making sense to you? If I know about the 5 skandhas, I will show you how to do it. Will guide you how to do it. Because it's meant for us to understand after you crossed, you made it out of the forest. Then we explain to you about the forest, not before. That's Buddhism. A teacher has to enter the Buddha recitation samadhi before he can teach you how to enter the Buddha recitation samadhi. The teacher has to become enlightened before he's allowed in a Chan world to teach you about Chan. That's our tradition and Wei-Yang tradition. We don't talk about it. So there's no need for us to explain extensively for you the 5 skandhas, because the more you know, the more useless your knowledge becomes. Because remember, here's the problem, here's the thing about your ego. It tricks you constantly. As soon as you know, it flips. It morphs again to something else. So that's why the teachers who keep on explaining to you about the 5 skandhas are the ones who do not understand how to break through the 5 skandhas. That's why they talk about it. We, in contrast, look at you and say, this is where you're stuck. You need to do this. She needs to do this in order to break through that obstruction right there. Because we understand how to do it. And so we tell you to do it. And pay attention, folks. You only have to follow instructions to break through. But if we tell you, if you do this, you break through that skandha, you will not break through that skandha. Okay, it will morph. What we have to do is to fool your ego, lull it into complacency so that you can be freed. You understand what I'm talking about? It's about freeing you, helping you break through, not knowing. So you read about the 5 skandhas is useless. It's a general information, but even from the sutras, the Shravana Sutra, that's the last piece of document that I read and said, wow, this is so advanced. But it does nothing for you. The proof is that the Buddha, when he spoke Dharma to the first 5 bhikshus, they became 4th-stage arhat. That's when you break through the 5 skandhas. Did he teach them about the 5 skandhas? No. That's my proof. Is it clear? Do you hear me clearly? You don't need to understand the 5 skandhas. You only need to follow instruction, you break through. After you've broken through, then we explain to you about the 5 skandhas. And for you, so that you in the future will be able to help others break through as well. There's a process behind it. There's a technique behind it. There's a strategy behind it. Unless you understand the 5 skandhas, you cannot come up with a strategy. But that's for teachers, not for you. Is that clear enough for you? I told you, YongHua, you don't ask your questions. I would spend 50 minutes explaining. Okay, if you ask the question, I only have 2 minutes, I would explain this in 2 minutes as well. Is that clear? So that person who wants to know about the 5 skandhas, let me give you a brief explanation. 5 skandhas, if you ask about it, that means you haven't broken through yet. Find someone who can lead you, show you how to break through, and then after that, you can read up more about the 5 skandhas. In other words, you who have been certified to have broken through, you should understand more about the 5 skandhas. If you have not been certified yet, don't waste your time. Don't worry about it. Because it's not going to help you break through at all. Okay, because most of Master Xinhua's disciples who are enlightened, they don't know, they don't understand the 5 skandhas. You must understand the 5 skandhas only when you need to help others break through. And it's better. You can help them better. And so that's why there's no need to understand too much about the 5 skandhas. Just know that that we know how to break through, because We are the experts. Only the Buddhist teachers are the experts at doing this. And if you aspire to be a great teacher, someday I hope you will learn more about the 5 skandhas. Until then, don't worry about it. Okay? Are we good? Okay, we stop here tonight. Thank you.